Okay. Now you know very well what is the Gauss theorem as well as what is the electric flux and what is the Gaussian surface. You know or not? You know it. Clear. Okay. Now we will discuss about the application of the Gauss. Where we will use that particular theorem. You know very well in the Coulomb we know how we can find the electric field or force between the 2 point charges. But if charge is not a point charge, it is a measurable charge, then what we will do? For a measurable charge, we can't find the electric field intensity as well as the force. You know very well. Here I will introduce to you how we will find the electric field due to a measurable charge, which size will be up to infinite. So here you know application of the Gauss theorem. First of all, there are 3 different applications, first, second and third. First application is here, electric field due to infinitely long strain charge wire. Infinitely long straight charge wire. And second one is electric field due to infinitely long plane sheet of the charge as well as electric field due to charge sphere, which will have the particular size and shape. You know very well. So first of all, we will discuss about the electric field intensity due to long straight charge wire. And here you know very well the particular charge wire is given, which is assuming as a positively charge. Suppose that, and its length is infinite. It is infinite of the length. Here you know very well its charge density is given. Its length is not defined. Its charge is not defined. But what is the charge exist per unit length of that particular wire? So you know very well here lambda is the uniform charge density. And suppose we want to find electric field at point P, which is situated at a small r distance from the wire, infinitely long wire. So we will choose a Gaussian surface. We can use any type of the Gaussian surface. Here we will choose the cylindrical Gaussian surface, and that particular cylindrical Gaussian surface is given like that. We are choosing in such a manner so that that particular point P must be situated at the surface of that particular cylinder. I am choosing a particular cylindrical Gaussian surface, and you must be learn it. For that particular type of the condition we will use Gaussian surface, which must be cylindrical, so that we can find the result in a more better manner. And please see, suppose at that point a small area is chosen at the point P. Similarly, at this one point as well as this one point, we will choose another surface area. You will have here 3 different type of the surfaces. One of them is circular. Second one is cylindrical, and third one is also circular. You know very well. So there are 2 different circular surfaces for a particular cylinder. You know very well it is circular surface and it is circular surface, and that particular surface is cylindrical. You know very well, curved surface. So you will have 3 different type of the area. Suppose I am just named as dA as well as the dA1, dA2 as well as dA3. For separating them, I am giving 3 different name of it. And you know very well in that particular condition what should be the direction of that particular dA1. You know it must to be perpendicular outward. It will also be perpendicular outward. You know very well. In a particular condition, area vector must be perpendicular outward. So for that upper surface, it will be perpendicular outward. For this one particular lower surface, it must be perpendicular outward. And for that particular curved surface, it becomes perpendicular outward dA2. So there are 3 different surface areas, dA1, dA2 as well as dA3 vectors. And you know, since it is a positive charge, then what should be the electric field at that point? You know, electric field will be outwards due to the positive charge. So it will be outward like that. It must be the electric field here, and you know very well it will be outward at that point due to that particular charge situated here, and it will also be outward at that point. You know very well, electric field at each and every point becomes outward. Okay. And here you know very well, angle between the area vector and electric field is 90 degree. but here angle between them is 0 degree. So now that particular figure is completed here. Okay, and please see, given that lambda is the uniform charge density, r is the distance of the point P. It is a point P where we want to find the electric field intensity due to that particular infinitely long wire. So distance of the point P from the wire at which electric field can be calculated, and we are assuming that these terms are given. These two terms are given so that we will find the result in the given terms, and these terms are assumed by us. You know very well, Q is the charge enclosed by the Gaussian surface. You are choosing a Gaussian surface. It is a Gaussian surface which is shown by me along to the dotted line. Okay, so you know very well it is Gaussian surface, and that particular Gaussian surface will enclose the charge from this one point to that one point. Suppose it is the center of the cylinder. So you know very well, you know Q is the charge enclosed between these 2 points, suppose named as the point A as well as the B. And similarly, you know very well, L is the length of that particular Gaussian surface, and dA is the small area at the surface of the Gaussian surface. dA is the small area, I am named dA1, dA2 and dA3. So what should be the linear charge density? Charge will be distributed linearly. Linearly means lengthwise. So when it will be distributed, then linear charge density lambda, which was given for the given wire, and it can be written like that: charge per unit length. Charge divided by length is known as linear charge density. Lambda, it must be written by lambda, and its unit will be coulomb per meter. You know. So yeah, now we want to find the total flux released by the Gaussian surface. You know, Gauss just informed to you, total flux phi will be equal to the 1 upon epsilon naught times of the total charge enclosed by that Gaussian surface. So now we will find there will be 3 different types of the surfaces. First one circular, second one, third one circular, and second one is cylindrical. So therefore total flux, so that particular cylindrical Gaussian surface becomes d phi 1 plus d phi 2 plus d phi 3, which is just passes through the different surface areas. So therefore d phi 1 is written as the dA1 cos theta, you know, and similarly dA2 cos theta as well as dA3 cos theta for the 1, 2 and 3 surfaces. And you know very well, for the first and third surface, what will be the angle? 90 degree, and cos 90 will be 0. And what is the angle for that particular electric field and area vector? It is 0 degree, and cos 0 is the 1. So therefore you know very well, it becomes EDA cos 0, which can also be written as the EDA2. Okay, so it is the small flux released by that particular small area dA2. Then what should be the flux passing through that particular curved surface? So we must to be integrated with the proper limit, and you know dA2 is the cylindrical surface, and its area is written as the 2 pi RL for a particular cylinder. Therefore we will integrate it, and we can find we will put the values and just find the result. You know very well what is the d phi e? It becomes E 2 pi RL is the equation first I am providing here, and by Gauss theorem you know very well, phi e is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times of the q. It is a Gauss theorem. You know, for each and every type of the shape, at each and every type of the charge, you can find the result. Okay, so now by equation first as well as the equation second, we will have the same value. By these two equations we can equate them, and then by equation first and second we get the result. E 2 pi RL is equal to 1 upon epsilon naught times of the q. So therefore we can say E equals to 1 upon 2 pi R epsilon naught q by L. Okay, and now finally E equals to 1 upon 2 pi epsilon naught lambda by R. It is the electric field intensity due to the infinitely long wire, infinitely long uniformly charged wire. Okay, thank you.